Friedland is on the phone. She's an author, a journalist, a contributor to Modern Bride, New York Magazine, Columbia Journalism Review, and it goes on and on and on. Her new book is called The Intermission. It is a novel. How much do we really know about the people we love the most? I'm thinking of a Carly Simon song. And I think it was called We Have No Secrets. Do you remember? We have no secrets. We tell each other everything.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that
Yeah.
song? In this story, there was a couple who definitely have some secrets they're keeping from one another. Elyssa, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Good morning to you.
Yeah, where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York.
Do you remember the Carly Simon song?
Hot.
Do you remember? It's hot there, right? Yeah. Well, it's hot here, too, in Florida.
Hot.
Yeah.
I'm sure. No, I don't know that song. I'll look it up.
Really? We have no secrets. We tell each other everything, and of course that I don't. Well, then never mind. That's ancient history. So tell me about the book, The Intermission. This is sort of about that, right? Husband and wife that have something they're not sharing with each other, right?
Correct. This book is about a husband and wife who have been married for 5 years. Cass and Jonathan Coyne. They met for the first time in college and reconnected in New York City. Later on after graduation, and they, on paper, seem like a really great couple and actually have a pretty decent marriage. But is it perfect? Well, nothing's perfect, and they come from very different backgrounds. They see the world a bit differently, and right before they start to try to have a family, Cass, the wife, says, "I'm not sure about this, and I need some time to think," and asks for a 6-month intermission.
Because the once there's a child, it's kind of set in stone. If you're married, but there's no right. but he's
a divorce, a breakup is a lot easier without children. I think everyone can agree.
Okay, so I'm a little bit unfair because I haven't read the whole thing, but from what I've gotten so far, he's kind of still in love with her. By the way, I'm a fan of these kind of stories. I'm just one of those guys. I know it's probably mostly a women's book, but I like these kind of things.
No, I hope not. I mean, the book is told half from the perspective of a man, so I hope that it appeals to everybody. I mean, the book is, if you count the words, it is, just as much Jonathan's book as Cass's book. So I hope men do pick it up.
But there's also a dog in the mix.
There's always a dog.
There's a dog.
It's got to be a dog.
I love dogs. I do love dogs.
Yeah, but they share the dog with that 6 months.
They share the dog because, I mean, it's still difficult because they have a dog, and if they were to separate, I don't know what would happen to the dog if they separated, full time. But the dog was interesting because it was a device for them to meet up once a month, and I think that while they are both attached to their sweet dog named Puddles, the custodial arrangement was also kind of a way for them to acknowledge that they want to keep tabs on each other during the break without having to say, I want to see you every 4 weeks. I want to know what's going on while we're apart. It's like, well, we need to exchange Puddles. We need to see each other once a month, So they love the dog, and they also want to, know what the other one's up to while they're not around.
Wow. That would be a hard thing to do, wouldn't it? Now, does the intermission happen with the knowledge that each of them is keeping something from the other, or do they not even know that?
They don't. I mean, the other doesn't know. I mean, Cass is very troubled by the secret she's keeping from Jonathan. Jonathan is keeping something from Cass, but he is more capable than she is at pushing it away and just, leading his day-to-day life without dwelling on it. But with the time apart, he has all these extra hours to think, and he starts to become troubled by it as well.
And he's more of a grown-up than she is, because she was the first one to want to walk away.
He's definitely a more, I would say, stable. I think it has to do with his upbringing and just his personality. He's maybe less of someone who doubts everything and overanalyzes, and is just sort of able to, stick with the tide.
Do the secrets have an element of infidelity in them?
One of them does, but I won't say.
So I'm sorry if I take you someplace. We don't want to ruin the book for anybody.
No, we don't.
Yeah. All right, and for example, I mean, if there was something, let me give you an example. When I was a kid. And I know you're not going to like this. I don't like this, but my grandfather drowned some kittens that were born in his shed. So this was the 1960s, and he said, "Don't tell your grandmother." So my grandfather had a secret that I knew, that he drowned some
Right.
kid. Okay, but I don't know that would have ended their marriage. She might have hated him for a while, but you know what I mean. So are these marriage ending types of secrets?
I think that they're not necessarily marriage-ending type of secrets, and they're not even. What's interesting is that in the book, they're not even so enormous. Let's say from the beginning when it happened, it's just that they grow, and the longer you keep something a secret, it has a snowball effect. So
true, yeah.
I've been telling people, I've been talking about this with a lot of friends who've been reading the book,
Yeah.
some early readers, and it's like, you don't always tell the truth on a first, second, a third, fourth, fifth date because you want to present your best side of yourself.
Yeah.
And then what are you supposed to do once you're in a relationship later on? Be like, oh, hey, by the way, remember I told you on our fifth date this? Well, actually, that's not true. I made that up.
Oh my God, yeah.
People don't do that. So then you have this secret that's maybe a small omission or a secret that you at the outset that you kept. And then 2 years later, it's bigger and bigger because you've been together and you share things, but yet you still have this thing dangling out there that you never shared or that you lied about.
Uh-huh.
So both of the secrets, particularly I think Cass's secret, is one that it's bad because of how it just kept growing. Like how long, the length of time that she just hasn't told Jonathan the truth is what makes the secret worse. And if she had just been upfront with him from the beginning, I think it's not that big of a deal.
And Jonathan's more of a hands-on person, and Cass is more of a debutante kind of person, where she would much rather have people do dishes for her than her own dishes.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, she's definitely no stranger to hard work, and she grew up very impoverished. So I don't know if it's even as simple as that. I think that they both, I don't know. I guess nobody likes to do the dishes, really.
But they need to be
She's someone
done.
who's happy to she's happy to let Jonathan do the dishes for her, but she's also, a critical person and thinks he's doing it all wrong. Which turns out this washing dishes has become, this part in the book I wrote about washing dishes has become like the most interesting part. Everyone has an opinion on the right way to load a dishwasher.
Yeah, right.
So when I wrote that, I didn't realize that it was such a universal theme.
That is funny. I think the solution is paper plates.
There you go.
I think
Yes. My mom's a believer in that.
Elyssa, I know you have a background in law, and I wanted to squeeze in one quick question. Did that work that you've done in law in any way help you understand human psychology? Because obviously you do. You have a grasp of it from both men's point of views and women's.
Sorry, did the background in law... What did you say? Did it give me a...
I'm just curious, but when one studies law, you're also kind of simultaneously studying psychology. And there's a lot of psychology in this book, and from both sides, from the man's point of view and the woman's.
I don't think so much from law school. I would say maybe the experience of working at the law firm, because it was just dealing with a very large firm and a lot of personalities, a lot of men, a lot of women, a lot of interacting between the two. And I think... I would say that more than the formal education, but just the experience of working in a big workplace and interacting with everyone from guys who work in the copy room to, the that stay with us till 3 a.m. when we were working. It's a very community and a lot of personalities meshing. So I would say that was my psychology.
Sounds like the TV show Suits, right?
Yeah, it does. It's great.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, Elyssa, I know you have to run. I found the book on Amazon. I know you're doing really well. Your website is ElyssaFriedland.com, correct?
Correct. And I'm on Instagram, and I love people to follow me on Instagram.
It's an honor to have you on the show. For the listeners, we'll have to take your call during the break because we're up against the break. I have a copy of the book. If you want the one that I have, call me. If I don't answer the phone, that means you didn't get it. I'll answer the phone at one time. Elyssa Friedland, thank you so much for being on the show with us. Good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.
You are looking to work somewhere that treats employees